Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hello. I'm Yuri, German, and I will be emceeing this event. I guess we're getting started. Please continue to get food if you'd like, but then quickly sit down. So the first thing that I want to say is please make sure to turn off all your cell phones. We will be having a few performances throughout the evening, so just to be courteous to the performers and to the readers, just make sure your cell phone's at least silenced, if at all. Thank you. So first, I would like to introduce someone I think who needs no introduction, the chair of our department, the person who has facilitated a lot of this event, Mr. Sean Curran. So please welcome him.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm the chair of the department. I'm also a grad, a member of the class of 1983. I always like to point that out. But tonight, I'm just mostly proud of Patricia Beaman. First round of applause for Patricia Beaman. There will be many. Patricia, of course, as you know, is our dance history teacher. Got a big promotion this year. She's now a visiting arts professor, and she's coming back as far as I'm concerned. You know, yesterday I was hosting an event that we're doing called Heart of Dance. Lar Lubavitch has curated for incredible companies. Yesterday, Pam Tanowitz showed her remarkable new work to the Goldberg Variations. But somebody asked her a question about style. And she gave a really wonderful answer and talked about the fact that she actually outed herself as a big dance history nerd. I was happy because I'm a big dance history nerd too. But she outed herself and talked about, you know, how choreographers, especially young ones, can't really work in a vacuum. We are a part of a continuum, right? And sure, it's modern dance, it's contemporary dance. We are trying to speak an old language in a new way with a contemporary accent. Not to sound like I'm writing a grant up here right now, but I think that's pretty important. And we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors. We are what we were. The more things change, the more they stay the same, right? So that's just something I love about what Patricia does and gives our community. But her new book, as you know, is about world dance, world culture. And I just want to read you the mission statement for our dance department because this idea about being a citizen of the world is so important to us. A few years ago when I started being chair, one of my first assignments was to collaborate with the faculty and make a mission statement. It goes like this. We seek to develop and prepare fully realized dance artists to be critical thinkers, fearless leaders, and fluent performers who understand their global responsibility and the transformative power of collaboration inherent in the expansive language of dance. We have a really wonderful dean, Dean Allison Green. I call her the dancing dean because in addition to being the dean, she's a dancer and a choreographer. But she says now that she wants our Tisch students to graduate with two things, a diploma and a passport, right? And there is even an office at NYU where students going abroad to study at the Global Network University can go and get a passport. And even beyond that, if you're a faculty member here and you're advising students, faculty members no longer say, do you plan on studying abroad? They say, when do you plan on studying abroad? So as the world gets smaller and smaller, right, and being a great citizen, artistic and otherwise, becomes more and more important. It's so important and so crucial that we have Patricia bringing in incredible guest artists from around the world to show us how they dance, how they make sense of a chaotic universe, right, where bad things happen to good people sometimes. Anyway, I am so proud. I am so in love with, I honor, I cherish, I acknowledge, I kiss our very own Patricia Beaman. Give it up again for Miss Patricia Beaman.
Thank you. I see we have a lot of people that are standing and have no wine in their hands, so that has to change immediately. So please, we're getting more chairs. There's also food here. We will have performances, so, just go in the back, try to avoid the video. But, this is not something that is etched in stone. It's fluid. All right, so we're getting more chairs, more wine. We also have a non-alcoholic cocktail called the Second Avenue. And we have some arak in honor of people that really love the Middle East. Can you hear me well? Okay. So I just want to say thank you to Sean. I'm so honored to be involved with Tisch dance on a deeper level and with Tisch in general. And I've met so many wonderful colleagues. It's wonderful to be a part of this family. And when I inherited this course from Deborah Jowett in 2000, there were huge shoes to fill, as you can imagine. But one of the things that was in place was a budget for masterclass teachers. And that adds so much to this semester of learning about global dance, because not only do my amazingly talented students get to learn about the form, they then get to physicalize the form. And I think it's quite a wonderful feature of my class. So tonight, I'm so happy Karen Calder will be leading us in an African song, call and response. Hari Krishnan flew in from performing at University of Madison, made it through the rain. He's going to perform. Toshinori Hamada will do a solo from No Theater. We have Carlos Vitante doing a Balinese wonderful solo. And last but not least, Eloy Ibarra will be performing flamenco. And in between, we will have short readings from the book. All right, so that's how it's going to go. I'll be happy to sign books after this is all over. I don't want to have any wine left. So I want everybody to really enjoy themselves, or food. And I want to thank all the volunteers in work studies. I want to thank all of my faculty. And I really want to thank somebody incredibly special who is our MC for tonight, who is Yuri German. And forgive me if I get a little verklempt here, because I'm looking at all these faces that mean so much to me. But I have to say that Yuri, I artist in residence on leave from Wesleyan, and the class was filled, but he came in anyway, and he did a demi-plie, and I said, okay, you can stay. And he said to me, it was the third class, I want to go to Tisch dance for my graduate school. And I said, you must. And he is, and he's here. So I'm so proud of him. And I can't tell you, I learned so much from my students and from my graduate assistants. And what I've really learned from Yuri is he inspires me all the time because of his tenacity. And, he wouldn't say no when my class was filled. He got in there, and he is a fighter. And I have to say, I'm so moved and relieved. And I was never worried about this stuff before November 2016. Yuri became a citizen on September 8th. So it's you. I turn Yuri over to announce Carol, and we have more chairs coming. So grab wine.
Okay, great. Can't beat that. One last round of applause, not for me, but for her, please. Thank you so much for everything. We're here to celebrate you and everything else. Great. So to give you the rundown, and I'm going to introduce the first person who will come and do a performance for us. So Karen Calder is a dancer, percussionist, and yoga instructor who has performed with Garth Fagan's Bottom of the Bucket Butt Dance Theater, Chuck Davis Dance Company, and Forces of Nature Dance Theater. She currently plays African percussion and sings with women of Calabash and the Alakande, Spread Joy. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Her family company, Indigo Arts, brings West African music and dance to all of the ages. So please help me in giving a warm welcome to Karen Calder.
Hello, everybody. I don't know why I'm behind this. This is not where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be out here in front so that I can move. But, yeah. So, in the West African tradition, call and response is very important. And there are many different types of call and response. Sometimes you say one thing and you are repeated with the same thing, but of course that's not how we're going to do it today. And I'm going to give you a call and response that goes with a particular dance called gumbe. So say gumbe. Gumbe. And gumbe is a dance that celebrates harvest. So what happens at harvest time? You get food, right? Everything that is ready, all the vegetables, all the fruits, all the delicious things that we get from the trees and from the bushes, they're ready. So and the people who do the fishing, they can harvest fish. So food is getting ready to be plentiful, and that's always a reason for celebration, just like we have this table of wine over here and that food over there. It's a reason for celebration. So your part is wanna lesio. Perfect. So now we're gonna sing it. Wanna lesio. Once more. Wanna lesio. Wonderful. Okay. So the call is going to be different, but when I point to you, that's what you respond. Wanna lesio. All right? Oli, lesio, wanna lesio. Wanna lesio. Oli, lesio, wanna lesio. Wanna lesio. That's beautiful. Now, we're going to do one more thing, because you can sing and clap at the same time. But since we don't have any drums with this, we're going to go clap, 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 clap. Come on. Keep it going. Don't speed it up, though. Oli, lesio, wanna lesio. Wanna lesio. Oli, lesio, wanna lesio. Wanna. Once more. Oli, lesio, wanna lesio. Wanna lesio. Very good. Thank you. Yay.
Thank you, Perry. Thank you so much. Okay. Is this okay? Yes. All right. I would like to just read you. This is the only time I'm reading tonight because, this can't be like a class. So this is an excerpt from my introduction. And I'm going to excerpt some of the chapters. I'm not going to read you every single thing that's in the book. Okay? Because it's all in there. Okay. As far back as the 15th century, European pursuit of colonies in the New World, Africa, Oceania, Southeast Asia, and Asia was a highly competitive and rapacious endeavor. In their zeal for new territories and treasures, colonialists were largely blind to the ancient wisdom, religion, and cultural practices of the peoples they were invading and or enslaving, and solipsistic in their view that Christian society was the best. In their civilizing missions, colonial governments and missionaries regularly targeted cultural traditions, especially dance, as pagan. A conspicuous and disturbing commonality between most of the dances discussed in world dance cultures is that they were irrevocably altered or damaged through colonial domination, and the societies in which they developed often had to fight to survive. In Custer Died for Your Sins, the late, great Native American rights activist and scholar Vine Deloria offered a mordant joke that could serve as one for many indigenous peoples. Two Indians are watching Columbus's fleet land. One turns to the other and says, "Maybe if we leave them alone, they will go away." In light of what we know about history, the colonialists didn't go away, nor did they leave the inhabitants alone. The fragility of cultural traditions, and in some heartening instances, their resilience, is an important theme throughout this textbook, which delves into the historical, political, economic, and artistic factors that shape both these cultures and their dances. During 2 decades of teaching global dance studies at NYU's Tisch Dance, finding a comprehensive textbook has been challenging. By writing one myself, I hope to rectify this problem. World Dance Cultures includes a current trends section on each topic. I'm going to cut here. Chapter 1, I'll just go through a little bit, examines Bharatanatyam, derived from the dance originally practiced by Devadasis in Hindu temples and courts of South India, Kathak, which is entertainment in Hindu and Muslim courts in North India, and Kathakali, which was performed by male warriors in Kerala. With the onset of British rule in the 19th century, all were altered due to a variety of socio-political factors. Chapter 2 examines the dance and entwined political histories of Bali and Java. In Bali, dancers serve as bodyguards to Hindu Balinese gods and as mediums in healing rituals, while in Java, royal Badaya dancers pay tribute to the ruler. In the violent aftermath of a 1965 military coup d'etat, socialist folk dancers were slaughtered, while palace dancers were exploited to glorify Indonesia's militaristic New Order regime. And this is almost the reverse situation. Chapter 3 investigates how aristocratic dance in Cambodia and China was targeted by communist regimes that overtook both countries. During Mao Zedong's Cultural Revolution, educational model work such as the Red Detachment of Women supplanted Jingku, which is Beijing opera, which was banned as elitists, and its artists were ostracized or killed. When the Khmer Rouge took power in Cambodia in 1975, all vestiges of the country's aristocratic past, such as the ancient court dance Robam Baran, were eliminated. During this murderous reign, new folk dancers became tools of propaganda, while the court dances and the dancers disappeared into the killing fields. I think that's enough, Yuri, don't you think? I'm going to jump here. It is always greatly rewarding to witness the profound awakening that occurs when students who have experienced dance from a largely Western perspective realize how dance functions in innumerable and indispensable ways in other cultures. While dance is often viewed as art or entertainment in the West, in other parts of the world, dances of necessity for healing, purification, or rites of passage are regarded as communal rituals. As students learn that these unique codified practices are complex and valid, their respect and appreciation for unfamiliar cultures broaden. In today's politically tense and xenophobic climate, my profound and possibly fanciful wish for this text is threefold. First, I hope it will allow students and other readers to garner a deep understanding of the dangers that lie in the suppression or banning of a group or an individual's traditions, religion, or lifestyle. Second, that they develop an appreciation of the beauty and intricacies inherent in these dances. And third, that through these investigations into the positive and negative actions of others, that they will become open-minded, empathetic, and vigilant citizens of the world. Thank you.
Who else is excited to read the book? I am. Okay, great. Okay, so I would like to introduce now someone who is very near and dear to my heart. He was my professor at Wesleyan and my thesis advisor my senior year, Hari Krishnan. He's an associate professor in the Department of Dance at Wesleyan University. He is also the artistic director of Toronto-based dance company In Dance, and as an award-winning dance maker is commissioned internationally for his bold and transgressive dance choreography. Hari is currently completing his upcoming book entitled Celluloid Classicism, Early Tamil Cinema and the Making of Modern Bharatanatyam. You'll catch me emceeing his event as well when the book comes out. So please help me in welcoming Hari Krishnan. one last thing. Also, really briefly, if you can't see in the back, feel free to stand. You're not being forced to sit. But just be mindful of the video camera that's behind you. So if you can't see and really want to see, you totally can stand.
Good evening, everyone. Doing a deconstructed version of Indian classical dance, very much keeping in tune with Judson Church postmodern aesthetic. If you can see me, I'll be down putting on my belt and I'm going to talk about my dance. They don't stand up that far. I am so thrilled to be here today. Patricia Beaman is not only someone I greatly admire, borderline worship. She has been a trusted colleague, a fearless, passionate, very generous collaborator, amazing scholar, fantastic, inspiring teacher. She's also one of my best friends. So when she had invited me to, she had just mentioned this in a very informal way. I said, hell yes. How can I say no to the great Patricia Beaman, right? I'm sure you will support her. So what I decided to do, in keeping with the amazing, the fantastic book she has, she's discussed dance history in such complex, meaningful ways. I thought I wanted to do something very special for this. So I have reconstructed one of my solos from 2009 called Frog Princess. It was first performed in Toronto, and then it got performed multiple times, including at the Mamas in New York City in 2013. Patricia has explored 3 Indian classical dance styles. Now, if anybody has seen Indian classical dance styles, it's not the same as the magical B-word Bollywood, right? Indian classical dance is very much, as the name suggests, with a large amount of prescriptive rules and regulations, and what is classical, meaning along with history and along with an aesthetic representation of understanding of the classical body. So she has explored 3 dance styles. Bharatanatyam, which I specialize in. Kathakali, which I trained in with my father when I was a child. It was too butch for me, so I changed the dance. And Kathak. I'm not trained in Kathak, but I can fake it pretty well. So in this adaptation of a piece, it's a particular narrative of a frog princess who's cursed to become a frog through various means. And when she meets the man of her dreams, in this case, the ten-faced monster king, Ravana, she turns into this beautiful princess. That's a story. But what I decided to do in this particular readaptation, specifically for this book launch, is to harness the energies of Bharatanatyam, Kathakali, and Kathak. So, you're going to see me exploring the eroticism and sexuality and sensuality and the severe architecture of Bharatanatyam, the intense theatricality and the hyper masculinity, I'm going to try, of Kathakali, and the virtuosity and the speed of Kathak. Harnessing these energies, I feel in my own small way, I'll be doing justice to Patricia's amazing book. In this piece, you're going to see a combination, like in most classical dance styles, it's text-based representation. The dancer dances a prescriptive code of gestures, and the singer sings text on top of that. So it's literally a word-for-word text-based, and that's when it becomes interesting, where the virtuosity, the maturity, the musicality of the dancer goes beyond the one-on-one meaning, and the dancer creates metaphors. It's in the world of metaphors lies the entire universe of Indian classical dance. As opposed to Western dance, it's not about the abstract movement, it's about visual poetry with text-based representation. So you're going to see a particular language come alive with these three styles, hopefully, in some way represented. Can I use this last one? Thank you. Hi. These three styles hopefully are represented, along with my larger politic of breaking gender archetypes in Indian classical dance, where males dance a specific way and females dance a specific way. The Frog Princess, a hybrid mix of Bharatanatyam, Kathak and Kathakali, filtered through Christopher Street.
Jala ഹാ മണ്ടോദരി കാഴ്ച ഹൈമവതിക തലച്ചി ഹാ തലച്ചി സമ്മോഹിതുടേ സമ്മോഹിതുടേ സമ്മോഹിതുടേ
I only hope to be as fabulous as Hari is when I grow up. Thank you so much for that. That was absolutely incredible. Great. Okay, next up, we will have a reading. Thank you so much, Hari, for that. Katrina Ikazoa, an MFA Tisch dance graduate, will read an excerpt from Patricia's chapter on Africa entitled The Girwal Festival of the Wodabe, Judging Male Charm and Beauty. So help me in welcoming Katrina.
Thank you. I think Hari made an excellent segue for a section about male charm and beauty, so thank you for that. Okay. The Wodabe, a nomadic shepherds who travel with their families and cattle throughout the Sahel steppe in southern Niger, are known as people of the taboos. This label refers to the strict codes that govern their seasonal activities, care of animals, and social conduct. Courage, hospitality, and confidence are all desirable traits as well, and keeping one's emotions hidden is especially important. Physical beauty and charm, exceedingly valued by the Wodabe, is a sign of potency, life force, and power. They proudly declare themselves to be the most beautiful people in the world. What some might perceive as vanity is a duty in the Wodabe life. After checking herds in the morning, a young man takes out his hand mirror and inspects his appearance. An application of black makeup around the eyes is required, followed by black lipstick. Traditionally, men attend to their own beautification and adornment more than women do, and are expected to keep up their appearances. Self-grooming begins early in childhood. As herdsmen, they are expert in creating medicines from herbs and tree bark to heal their livestock, as well as to craft love potions for people. Fertility is valued in Wodabe society, since more babies increase their population. After a child is born, an arranged marriage is brokered between cousins of the same lineage. After this initial wedding occurs, the practice of polygamy in Wodabe society permits men to have as many as 4 wives. Wife stealing is a frequent occurrence, especially during tribal gatherings between two lineages, and a wife has the freedom to leave her own marriage. Any jealousies that occur between wife-stealers or multiple wives in this seemingly wide and complex net of situations are carefully hidden within what the Wodabe call a deep heart. Because the Wodabe are frequently in migration and travel in smaller family units, two lineages converge to celebrate the annual Gerewol festival. This week-long gathering of dancing brings together as many as 1,000 Wodabe in a beauty contest. Young men performing in 3 dances, Rume, Yake, and the Gerewol itself, will be judged for their attractiveness and charm by young women from the other lineage. Regardless if one wins or not, this atmosphere is conducive to sexual union. Amorous assignations occur, wife swapping is rife, and marriages are made. Married women who have remained childless may be with any man they choose in hopes of getting pregnant. For carrying a child overrides any marital fidelity and is condoned by the community. The large amount of cosmetic and sartorial preening by men dancing in the Gerewol festival is time-consuming, exacting, and emphatically aimed at making themselves devastatingly irresistible. Using personal hand mirrors, men spend hours together making up their faces. Both for the Rume and the Yake, the facial makeup is saffron yellow, the color of magic. To obtain the black makeup for their mouths, roasted egrets bones are ground into a black powder and mixed with butter. Only this concoction allows for the undulating vibration of their lips in the dances, which is so appealing to the judges. To those who cheat by using another substance, such as the toxic black residue found inside burnt-out AA batteries, they won't get the same winning results as those who use only the burnt bone lipstick. Wodabe contestants say that the ability to finesse the vibrations of their lips comes from the supernatural magic of the mixture. The opening of the Gerewol festival begins with men parading their camels, which are akin to sports cars, connoting wealth and flash. Women are great judges of attractiveness of these beasts as well, and will sing songs about their grace and swiftness as they pet them. The first dance of the festival, the Rume, is a dance of welcome by day and ardor by night. Facing inward in a large circle, the men dance and sing chants that wax poetically about love, the beauty of women, and also broadcast their own masculine charms. They clap continuously, weaving diverse rhythms together as they dance, shuffling in a counterclockwise circle. The young women surround them in a larger circle, dancing the same steps but at a slower pace, which allows them a chance to view the men. When the Rume occurs in the evening, if a woman wants to get to know one of them better, she approaches his back and slowly draws her finger down his spine. In turn, he gives her a sign, and they will later meet for a tryst beneath the night sky. The Yake is a contest in which a man's charm is judged by 3 women. Charm is different than beauty. It is personality. The Wodabe believe that having no charm is worse than being ugly. I agree. The man who is physically imperfect can make up for this with charm, especially if he is a great dancer. Also agreed. In the Yake, men of one lineage dance together in one line, shoulder to shoulder, rocking up and down on the balls of their feet while shifting from one foot to the other, trying to appear as tall as possible. Rhythmically turning their heads as they dance, the contestants exude their beauty, energy, and charm to 3 unmarried women from the opposite lineage. The Wodabe say that a good marriage is made through the eyes, and in the Yake, certain desired eye movements must be preferred. If a man can show off the whites of his eyes, focusing straight ahead with one eye, while the other rolls around in its socket, the female judges will find him most alluring. Continuous broad smiling and showing one's white teeth is another way to attract attention. Although the men have been well reviewed in advance, the 3 female judges cannot look directly at the object of their desire. So with downcast eyes, they slowly approach the man they have collectively picked to be the winner. When they stop in front of him, their choice is made clear to the audience, who cheers for the young man's win in this very tough competition of charm. Now, the culmination of the festival is the Guerrero, a dance for as many as 50, in which only the most confident and beautiful men compete. Once again, 3 unmarried women will judge the beauty of the men from the opposite lineage. Out of the finalists, only 3 men will be picked as a bull, a prestigious status. The red facial makeup for the Guerrero symbolizes war, aggression, and power. Even though no violence occurs, this is a fierce competition and rates as the most important dance in Wodabe culture. Side by side, in a long horizontal line, the dancers face the sun in order to show their beauty despite the heat. For hours, they smile relentlessly, displaying their beautiful milk-white teeth as they tread up and down the line. Gradually, some drop out of the ranks, and the final contestants form the horizontal dancing line, but this time it is much more energetic, and the percussion from their ankle bells intensifies. Jumping repeatedly in unison, they propel the line forward while rhythmically swinging a jalel, a ceremonial axe. When the time comes for each of the 3 women to pick her bull, the men stand in line, bobbing up and down as they puff out their cheeks, pucker their lips, and roll their eyes independently from one another. As each judge carries the line with eyes downcast, they energetically send her air kisses while rocking back and forth onto their tiptoes. Once close to the object of her desire, her right arm swings slowly. In a graceful gesture, she swings her arm up toward one and picks her bull. Those men chosen for their beauty are held in high esteem for the rest of their lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Karina. Let's just stretch our legs and have something to eat and have a glass of wine. And do we need more chairs? I think we need more chairs. People want to sit down? Mingle? Maybe want to stand some? Please. Just a little pause and we'll move on with the entertainment.
The next person I will be introducing is Toshinori Hamada. He is an actor and dancer specializing in no theater, the Yosho school style. He is also an actor, martial artist, and principal dancer with the Ballum Dance Theater. His solo that he'll be performing is from Yashima, a play based on the historical 12th century battle at the Yashima Bay in Japan, fought between 2 clans. Hi, okay, we're back. Toshi plays the ghost of Yoshitsune, the triumphant samurai general. Assisting him with the reading will be Edmund McCarthy, so please help me in welcoming them.
Again I hear the battle cries and the word of Asura. The zing of arrows can again be heard too. The noises resound, almost shaking the world. Who is my foe in the fight of Asura today? Oh, it's Noto no Kami no Ritsune. How imposing. I know your skills. You remind me of the Battle of Danura. It is the ancient battle of the ocean. Returning to this world once again, the ocean and mountain filled with life tremble. The battle cry is given from the boat. Yoitsune's shields covers the land, just like the swells of the sea. The moon brightly shines with the light of swords. Reflected in the tide are the metallic stars on our helmets. The wave of clouds is indistinguishable from the sea and sky. We hit and stab each other in the clouds and rise and fall with the tactics of the battle on boats. While occupied with the battle, a spring day dawns with faint light from between the waves. That which seemed to be the enemy was a flock of seagulls. The voices heard as battle cries were the whizzing of the morning storm, blowing through the tall pine trees on the beach.
Amazing. Okay. Well, next person coming up to the stage is the actor, dancer, filmmaker extraordinaire, Donald Shorter, who teaches in our dance and technology department here at NYU Tisch. He will read an excerpt from the Tsar Ritual, ridding women of troublesome spirits. So please help me in welcoming Donald.
I just wanted to take a moment to say congratulations to Patricia. You know, I just work here, so I'm helping students with getting all of the equipment that they need to make projects that are related to dance and technology. And that requires me to sort of go into this cage to get the equipment for the students. And I often come peeking into her classroom, and sometimes I sit and listen. And I told her this, I said, I am very jealous of the fact that I didn't have you in undergrad to be able to partake in such rich knowledge and education that you give your students. And I said, it's really brilliant to see the ways in which she decolonizes the classroom. So, congratulations. The Tsar Ritual. The Tsar is a healing rite practiced in the Nile River regions of Sudan, Egypt, and Ethiopia. Although customs vary, the overall mission of a Tsar is to cure physical or psychological maladies caused by possession of one or more Tsar spirits, powerful and demanding supernatural beings that are appeased through music, songs, dancing, and sacrificial feast. Although men may seek help, Tsar ceremonies are predominantly sought after by women and are presided over by a female spiritual medium known as a sheikha, an expert who acts as a powerful communicator between the mortal and spiritual world. An afflicted woman seeking help is called an ayana. Okay. Through divination, a Shikaya identifies and reveals the demands of her client's possessors, and in a Tsar ritual, she brokers an agreement with these troubling spirits. Once Tsar spirits possess someone, they remain an ever-present force, and therefore exorcism is not possible. However, if the agreed-upon terms are respected, the benevolence of the spirits is secured, and they will cease inflicting the ayana with sickness and misfortune. Through a symbolic wedding inherent in the Tsar ritual, the ayana and the spirits forge a symbiotic lifelong bond. Today, Tsar ceremonies are often ridiculed and criticized as being an unorthodox mode of healing, and at times have been banned by religious and political authorities. Yet, they are regularly practiced by women who adhere to the belief that the dissatisfied Tsar spirits are the cause of illness and infertility. In Islamic countries, there is a marked separation between the sexes both publicly and privately, and a great distinction between gender roles. In the female-dominated Tsar, the profession of a shikaya is one of the few in which a woman can hold leadership and financial independence within a male-dominated society. A shikaya is highly valued by her female followers for her substantial knowledge and powers as a medium to the spirit world. Essential to her profession is her ability to enter an altered state of consciousness. While in trance, a shikai gains access to her own personal spirits for advice and is able to communicate and negotiate with those possessing her clients. For a sick woman who is experiencing spirit possession, consulting a shikai is often a last attempt when all other methods have failed. Married women frequently seek help for infertility through a Tsar. In Egyptian rural societies, possession cases abound in polygamous households when a husband neglects his wife for the favors of another. A distressed woman is vulnerable to becoming possessed by spirits who will torment her with emotional or psychological disturbances manifested in stomach aches, migraines, miscarriages, epilepsy, semi-paralysis, weight loss, anxiety, or nervousness. Other instances that might ignite the ear of a Tsar spirit and induce it to possess a woman have to do with her vanity. Some spirits are known to covet luxury items such as jewels, henna, perfumes, and clothes, new clothes. So one might descend into a woman who obsessively admires herself in front of a mirror. Being near water makes a woman more susceptible to possession. So rivers, wells, or even toilets are vulnerable places, as are liminal crossroads such as a threshold of a door or a staircase. All these venues are rendered even more dangerous during the darkness of night. Problems plaguing a distressed Ayana are brought under the control by her Shakai, who presides over a costly private czar that might last anywhere from 3 to 7 days. This initial czar is called Wedding of the Masters, since the afflicted woman and her spirits enter a union of sorts. As the ritual unfolds, the lively percussion is a crucial catalyst for summoning spirits, who each are attracted to the rhythm of a certain beat or dak. The Shakaya guides the musicians through a variety of speeds and rhythms to invoke those spirits possessing her client, and also calls forward her own personal ones, who help guide her as she coaxes and argues with those troubling the Ayana. Drawn by their respective drumbeat, the Tsar spirits descend into the bodies of the Ayana and the Shakaya, who both enter a disassociated state of consciousness. As the Ayana encounters her possessing Tsar spirits for the first time, she becomes host to them and enters a state of ecstatic trance, during which she dances as well as emulates their speech and mannerisms. The Shakaya hears their demands and propitiates them with promises of gifts and other offerings. Throughout the course of a Tsar, the Ayana may be under the command of several spirits, and undignified behavior may prevail. Ethnographer Janice Bodie saw Sudanese women engaging in unnatural behavior such as smoking and dancing in a wanton manner, which countered their normally dignified demeanor. An Ayana might drench her own body with water or be induced to guzzle forbidden alcohol or even blood as she dances in an unladylike fashion. Possession by a forceful male spirit can provoke the Ayana to exhibit uncharacteristic dominance over her husband. Channeling his voice through hers, a spirit will forcefully demand the husband provide him via her with expensive jewelry, fancy clothing, and other luxury items, and even brandish a sword to underline his demands. While under the shroud of possession, a woman holds no fear of repercussion and is not faulted for exhibiting socially unacceptable behavior that is permissible only within the parameters of the Tsar. After an Ayana has met, appeased, and entered into an ongoing marriage with her possessing spirits through her private Tsar, she maintains harmonious relations with them by attending a weekly communal Tsar. In a joyous, club-like atmosphere, members of this ritual gather together to dance with their respective possessors. As it is crucially taboo for a woman in a male-dominated Islamic society to express frustration, the Tsar is a safe haven in which she can relieve psychological, social, and physical stresses. A parallel could be drawn between the Western psychotherapy and the Tsar, which both draw individuals weekly. But while therapy may result in a patient being prescribed psychotropic drugs to alleviate depression or anxiety, the Tsar, with its exuberant music, dancing, costumes, and spirit possession, is a drug-free method capable of coping with these same anxieties. Tsar ritual provides a socially sanctioned arena with a woman, in tandem with her spirits and members of her community, can voice her unhappiness, assert her own needs or her own power, and feel exuberant afterward.
Because of the logistics of the dancing body, I have two cold dancers raring to go. So we're going to go with the two solos. We're going to have a break, and then I'm going to finish up with Edmund with the last reading, okay? Is that all right? Okay, so here you go, Suri. Dance.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much, Donald. Please help me in welcoming Carlos Fatante. He's the director of Ballum Dance Theater, and he'll perform Tirunajaya. Thank you. See, this is what happens. Which translates to victorious youth. This Balinese dance solo from the 1930s combines male and female movement patterns excerpted from 4 popular Balinese dances. The music is performed by the Samara Rati Gamelan in the gong sounds like caviar style. See, this is how I remembered. And the traditional choreography is based upon a rendition by the award-winning dancer Ayu Sukmawati of the Ubud, Bali. So please help me in welcoming Carlos. What an exit. Amazing. Okay. Thank you so much, Carlos. Next, our last performance of the evening, physical performance of the evening, will be by Eloy Ibarra. He is a flamenco artist and artistic director of Danza España and Ballet Fiesta Mexicana. So please help me in welcoming Eloy.
think I'm the happiest person in New York City right now. Thank you. We have to have some wine after that. There's just no two ways about it. So please get another refreshment. We have one more short reading that's going to be amazing because Edmund's going to do it. And he's just, I don't know where, they broke the mold when they made him. You. So please get a refreshment. And then we can just mingle, and I'll be happy to sign for anybody who would like to. But I just want to thank our fabulous readers. Thank you, Karina and Donald and Edmund, and my beautiful masterclass teachers, and my gorgeous MC. And I have to thank my husband, Justin, who's been... I cannot tell you, the only thing that he excels in beyond technical brilliance with computers is patience and love. So, Sean, I can't thank you enough. And I just want to say that Kevin Lamb is here. He has kept me together in yoga class. It's like going to church for me. So I just want to shout out to him. My students, I'm just so honored to have taught you and to be teaching you. Without you, I wouldn't have a job. No, I'm kidding. No, but without you, I take my teaching so much to heart, and you are with me more than you know. So let's have a drink and a snack, and just one last reading from Edmund. Thank you.
Edmund. Edmund is a former dancer, and with his wife, Ruthie, who's in the audience, is a conservator of the John Martin Collection, which now resides in the dance division of the New York Public Library at Lincoln Center. He will read an excerpt from Political Resistance, the Lakota Ghost Dance and Wounded Knee, 1890 and 1973. Please give a warm welcome to Edmund.
Thank you so much. What a beautiful crowd you are. Beautiful, talented, brilliant, amazing. And you came in this inclement weather, so thank you. And you are really a reflection of Patricia. She is one of the most beautiful, talented people that I know. And I'm so proud of her, and I'm sure you are too. Patricia, you have a lovely bunch of coconuts out here. So I'm going to tell you a story, if you will indulge me. This is a subject which is dear to my heart. Not nearly as dear as you are, though, Patricia. So, Mount Rushmore, located in the Black Hills of South Dakota, draws thousands of visitors every year. The carving of this massive monument, featuring the faces of 4 white presidents, began in 1927 to draw tourism. But to the Lakota Sioux, who regard the Pahosapa, the Black Hills, as the epicenter of their spiritual world, the onslaught of jackhammers and dynamite was an utter desecration of a mountain they call the Six Grandfathers. Mount Rushmore, created on sacred Lakota land, is seen as an insulting monument commemorating Wasichu, white leaders, who supported policies that ultimately decimated Native American populations. The Lakota term Wasichu defines non-indigenous people, but it has taken on a pejorative connotation: those who take the best meat. Greed was a government's motive for breaking a treaty that promised the area to the Lakota Sioux in perpetuity. But when gold was discovered there in the 1870s, that perpetuity vanished. They lost their most sacred hunting ground to Wasichu, who indeed took the best meat. This greediness has a tumultuous history, and to understand how the ghost dance religion came to have special resonance for the Lakota, their mistreatment by the United States government, a century-long litany of lost land, imposed hunger, epidemics, banning of traditions, and broken treaties must be considered. The Lakota possessed horses and freely hunted buffalo from Minnesota to the Rocky Mountains. By the 1850s, the doctrine of manifest destiny, which justified white settlement westward, led the government to decide that Native Americans should be contained on Indian territory. Under the terms of the 1868 Fort Laramie Treaty, the Great Sioux Reservation was established. 60 million acres, which no Wasichu could enter. However, this agreement craftily brought the Lakota under governmental control. If they gave up their weapons and horses and allowed railroad routes and military posts to be built, they were promised rations. But these proved inadequate. When Wasichu hunters began to hunt down the buffalo from the new railroad traversing the plains, this essential Lakota sustenance diminished. Next was the assimilation. Children were sent off to government boarding schools, forced to adopt Christianity, and forbidden to speak their native language. When General George Custer led an expedition into the Black Hills in 1874, gold was discovered. Because the Lakota flatly refused to sell this land, an ultimatum was issued that all Plains Indians be confined to the Great Sioux Reservation or be considered hostile. But some refused to bend to the white man's ways, such as Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse, who lived with their people off the reservation and had refused to sign any treaties. Crazy Horse deplored the evolution of the loafer Indian, dependent on government rations, and Sitting Bull warned his people to take nothing from Wasichu, saying, "You are fools to make yourselves slaves to a piece of fat bacon." In 1876, these two hostile chiefs defended the Black Hills by leading thousands of warriors to victory against the U.S. Army in the Battle of Rosebud. A week later, despite Custer's Indian killer reputation, they crushed his 7th Cavalry in the Battle of the Little Bighorn, one of the worst defeats endured by the Army in Indian conflicts. Custer's death made him a legendary hero and reinforced a trope that Indians were savages. In retaliation, Congress instituted a sell or starve campaign in order to annex the Black Hills. The desperately hungry Lakota lost the Black Hills and hunting rights outside of their territory, all in violation of the 1868 treaty. In less than a century, Native American warriors who once roamed freely were now weaponless, demoralized, and facing starvation. Reservation life also suffocated Lakota religious traditions when word came from Western tribes of a religion that promised annihilation of the white man. The people were hungry to know of it. Wovoka was a Paiute Indian who experienced a mystical vision during the solar eclipse in 1888. When the sun died, I went up to heaven and saw God and all the people who died a long time ago. God told me to tell my people to be good, love one another, and not fight or steal or lie. He gave me this dance to give to my people. The doctrine of this pious Messiah was rapidly adopted by thousands of suffering Native Americans. In 1889, Sitting Bull sent a delegation from Standing Rock to investigate Wovoka's religion and spiritual dance. They returned with an enthusiastic report. If they lived peacefully and frequently performed the circular dance, their ancestors of the buffalo would return and all Wasichu would be swallowed up by new soil. Wovoka predicted this apocalyptic event would occur in the spring of 1891. Knowing that his people had nothing to look forward to but inevitable starvation on government rations, Sitting Bull inaugurated the ghost dance at Standing Rock. Soon, the majority of Lakota Sioux began dancing in earnest. Lakota ghost dances typically lasted for 4 days. Men, women, and children joined hands and sang as they circled in a counterclockwise direction, following the pathway of the sun. The nonstop dancing, singing, and lack of food or water led to many falling into a deep trance. Upon awakening, they shared visions from their dead ancestors. Mrs. Z.A. Parker, a reservation teacher, described seeing over 300 ghost dancers in 1890. After chanting, "Father, I come," in the circle, they sent up the most fearful, heart-piercing wails. Shrieking out their grief, they raised their eyes to heaven, invoking the power of the Great Spirit to allow them to see and talk with the people who had died. And now the most intense excitement began. They would go as fast as they could, with hands gripped tightly in their neighbors, swinging back and forth with all their might. They chanted, "Father, I come. Mother, I come. Brother, I come," until first one and then another would stagger from the ring and fall down. I saw one woman lay there motionless, but with every muscle twitching and quivering. They kept up dancing until fully 100 persons were unconscious. Then each told his story to the medicine man, who shouted it to the crowd. After resting, they would go through the same performance perhaps 3 times a day. To bring on the white apocalypse, the frequency and size of ghost dances grew, and crowds as big as 3,000 descended onto the reservation. To the Lakota Sioux, the ghost dance was not just a new religious movement. It was a reaction to the ongoing injustices of broken treaties, the extermination of the buffalo, the banning of religious customs, and systematic starvation. The ghost dance religion ended brutally. In December of 1890, Sitting Bull was murdered while being arrested. And subsequently, hundreds of Lakota ghost dancers were massacred at Wounded Knee by the U.S. government in 1890. Wounded Knee again became a site of controversial resistance in 1973, when activists from the American Indian movement took possession of the village.
Thank you, Edmund. Thank you, everybody. it means so much that you came out tonight in this vile weather. But I guess we need the water. Thank you. Enjoy, and I'll be happy to sign any books for anyone who wants it. And I just send my love to you all. Thank you.